Well, recorder is recording. That's great to know, but why are you still up here? All right. Okay, it is recording. Now, let me explain to you a little bit about the playlist. When you see it, how to get to it, you go to Blackboard. Okay? I'll stay on this side. In Blackboard for this course, when you go to the course, you'll see a series of tabs, blue tabs on the left. Y'all familiar with Blackboard, right? And they're sort of in groups of about 6, 8, whatever, different groups. And that very first group, it seems like about midway down, there's one that says course information or something like that. That's where I'm going to put the syllabus, which we're going to talk about today, but you'll see it's not up to date. I haven't had a chance to update it and get it correct for this term, mostly because I'm the math department chair, and we have been going crazy because they've been canceling classes on us right and left and moving people around and moving instructors around. It's been a nightmare. But hopefully tomorrow, I might be able to get some of this done. I've got it to do for every class, and as you'll see later, I'm teaching a lot of classes, so I'll get it done as soon as possible. But anyway, that's where the syllabus will be. Right below that is one that says instructor information. There's where I'll put my locator card, which we'll look at later. It's not been updated yet either, but I'll tell you what it'll look like. Okay? Then you go down to the next group, and somewhere about the middle of that group, there's one that says something like handouts, PPTs, and more, something like that. PPTs stands for PowerPoints. So in that group, I will put your research paper instruction, which we'll go over today. I'll still need to do a couple of upgrades to that before it'll be on Blackboard, but you'll be able to see. And then I'll put all the PowerPoints that we'll use all term long, some that we won't use, anything we'll possibly use. I will also put a few websites that either students have sent me or I found that I thought might be useful. Okay, so they'll be there. And then there'll be the link to the YouTube videos. And it'll say Math 112 YouTube videos. Now, it's not there yet. None of this is there yet, but that's where you do. So when you click on that, then you get a whole list of videos. And you say, how can we have that many videos and we only had one class? Or we've had no classes yet if you looked at them before, which you could. Okay, well, that's because I don't erase last time I taught it videos. And here's why. This has happened in a variety of ways. One time I came in and could not get Screencast-O-Matic to load. I went to the phone, called. Finally, they got back to me and said, whoops, someone forgot to pay the bill. So they cut us off. So we went a few days with no Screencast-O-Matic, so I couldn't record those days. We've had a few other times when our internal system went down, and a few times when they blamed it on the supercomputer, and a few times my computer has gone down. It's a finicky old thing that won't hold the charge. In fact, it's not charging right now. Okay, I think it's, if y'all start hearing a little beep, 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 that means the battery is just about gone. But I've got it back charging again. It's a finicky old piece, okay? But I'm just a department chair, so I can't get a new one. So anyway, secretaries can, but department chair, no. Okay. So when you look at that, the ones at the top are the most recently done from the last time I taught, or previous times I've taught the course. The ones at the bottom are where I'm putting in the new ones. And as soon as I put in the one from today, I'll take off the one from last time. Okay? So I'll be cycling through all term. The ones at the top are the old ones, the ones at the bottom are the new ones, so you can look ahead if you want to. If you miss a day and you want to know about what we're doing that day because I haven't loaded that one yet, you can do that kind of stuff. But that's why I keep them on there until I know I've got a good one to replace it with. Because it has happened. School of Hard Knocks. All right. Okay. I was trying to think if there's any way you can see whether the power stops here. I don't see any. Okay, so let's start talking about the syllabus. Okay? At this time of day. Only this far into the course. Okay. This is Math 112. I hope everybody's in the right place. It's a 3 credit hour course. We meet Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 to 9:45. Bessemer campus, y'all are in the right place. And we're not in A255. Now, we're in 205. If we don't exceed, in fact, no, we got 31 students here today. 255 will only hold 30 students comfortably, okay? Well, I might have squeezed in one more because somebody needed a special. No, actually, that's going to be about 30, I think. Isn't that what you figured in that room? So we'll probably have to stay here because we're missing about 9 people. So there's a good chance we'll exceed 30. We've got 31 here today, and somebody has to give me the name, but, you know, that's a different issue. Okay. So we'll probably have to stay here, so I'll change this to 205. All right. My information is pretty much the same. My name's Charles Fowler, okay? My office on this campus is A265. Now, this room doesn't have an evacuation diagram in it. So what you do, you go out of the hall here. This is why it took me so long to get here. Hang a right, head down the hall until it runs into a wall. Don't run into the wall, okay? Take a right, and then you'll go down half a flight of stairs and go to the end of that hall, but don't run into the wall. Right before you run into the wall is a stairwell, and right before that is my office, 265, okay? It's in between a mechanical room, a big double door thing, something's usually in there making noise if it's not me, and the stairwell. Okay, so that's where I am. Pretty far away from this room, not too bad from 255, but I can't fit 39 students in 255. Okay, so that's my office. My phone number there is 929-3449. Now, please, I'm going to tell you my office hours, and later I'll put it on the everything. They're not there yet. I'll tell them to you. Please call only during office hours, because I can't seem to get my voicemail to be consistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it won't let you leave a message, and sometimes I can't get the message if you've left it. So don't leave a message. I may never hear it, okay? So just call during office hours. I'll tell you what they are. And if I don't answer the phone, hang up and call again a few minutes later. I may have just gone down the hall for something, okay? So that's on this campus. Now, my email is good. And as of earlier in the week, I was pretty much up to date in email. But ever since classes have started, I have had very little time to catch up on email, so I'm a bit far behind on that. Okay, now on Fridays, I'm on the Birmingham West campus. Y'all know which one that is. Okay, it's sort of the main campus there on Birmingham. And you know that quad of buildings that's in the middle of the sort of a circle that you drive around. Okay, the first building that goes like this, that's the administration building, the A building. There aren't any classes in there. Then the long building in the back is the B building. It's the academic building, and that's where I am on Fridays. Okay, 2 ends of the building. One toward that new building, the 2 new buildings, and then one toward the gym and the baseball field and the tennis courts. That end of the building, when you go in either end of the building, you have to go up half a flight or down half a flight. Go up. And then when you get to the top step from the baseball end or the gym end, top step immediately on your right is 122. It's Dr. Carl Pruitt's suite of offices. He's my boss. He's the associate dean. And his secretary will be the first person you see when you go in. So that's Miss Rose Saxton. Behind her desk is the copy room. That's my office on Fridays, okay? Friday morning, 8 to 12. Here is the number there, or at least it used to be, okay? Starting last spring sometime, the phone never worked. It didn't work all summer, that as far as I know, but then it was working again last Friday when I was in the office. The thing I don't know is whether they fixed the phone or changed the number, okay? So I don't know for certain if this is the correct number or not. I'm guessing it is. But if you can't get me at this number, try 929-6377. That's the secretary's number, okay? And since she's right outside, if she answers, she'll just yell back, I've got a phone call. If she's not there, I hear the phone ring most of the time. I'm hard of hearing, but most of the time I hear it. I'll go out there and pick up the phone, so I answer the phone for her when she's not there. So hopefully you'll get me 8 to 12 on Fridays. But know this, they love calling meetings on Fridays. So I may be in a meeting. If I know I'm going to be one, I'll tell you on Thursday. But if they call one suddenly, then I may not be there when you call. But Ms. Saxon will take a message for me. Don't leave a message on this number. It's not my number, okay? I can't access those. It belongs to the grant coordinator on the Birmingham campus, and she's only there Monday through Thursday, so I use that office on Friday. So don't leave a message. She won't know what to do with it. I can't access it. All right, so here are my office hours on Mondays. This is, the first part is absolutely correct. From 8 to 10, I did have a Math 100 class, but one of the other instructors needed one because they canceled one of hers, so I gave her mine. Okay, so 8 to 10, so I don't have a class first thing. But at 10 o'clock, I've got Calculus 2. Okay? Then at 12:15, I have Calculus 3. And then at 2:30, I have differential equations. And then that gets through at 3:45. So from 3:45 till 6, there's more office hours. A good 2-hour block here, a little over 2-hour block there. Okay? So that's my Mondays. Probably the best place, well, except for Fridays. And even a little bit better than Fridays. Okay? Tuesday and Thursday. Not very much here, folks. Okay? I'm in my office from 8 to 8:30, but I'll probably be running down the library, getting a projector, and doing all this kind of stuff. So it's not a great time, but I will be here from 8 to 8:30. Then this class is 8:30 till 9:45. My trick class, they cancel. Okay? Another victim of the cancellation pin. So from 9:45 until 11:30. That's about the only office hours I have on Tuesdays and Thursdays. 9:45 until 11:30. 11:30, I have a linear algebra class, and then at 1:15 till 5:45, I have a first mini-term physical science class with a lab. So out of pocket for the rest of the afternoon. And then from 5:45 to 6, I'm shutting down the lab or whatever and trying to head home. Okay, Wednesdays are a lot like Mondays with one really major exception. I don't have the time in the afternoon, okay? 8 to 10, office hours. And then I do have a little bit of time. Now, these aren't quite right. It is, I think, 11:45 to 12:15. Not 12:30, 11:45 to 12:15. Just a short time, 30 minutes there, that usually I'm trying to cram down lunch, okay? But I do eat in my office. I bring my lunch, so you can catch me there if you can. Because after my 3:45 class ends, I'm packing my bags on Wednesdays and heading to Birmingham East Campus, where I teach a physics class from 4:30 to 6:30. So that's why I can't have that group of office hours there. Thursdays, just like Tuesdays, 8 to 8:30, and what did I say? 9:45 until 11:30. And then Fridays, 8 to 12. Okay, and that information's up there. All right, let's move on to course description. It's always, whoa, too much. Okay. Pre-calculus, as the name suggests, oh, and by the way, I didn't write this. No one here at the college wrote it. It was developed by a committee of the 2-year college system and the public 4-year colleges and universities in the state of Alabama. They came up with this. If we teach this, they give you credit. So that's why this course description is here. Pre-calculus, as the name suggests, consists of topics from algebra and trigonometry. Now, trigonometry is the 113 part, not this part, okay, that form the foundations of calculus. This course emphasizes the algebra of functions. Okay, remember that. Okay, algebra of functions, including polynomial functions, hang on to that idea, rational functions, hang on to that idea, exponential and logarithmic functions, hang on to those ideas. It says the course also covers systems of equations and inequalities and quadratic inequalities. That last part, we're really not going to do much on except as it's necessary to do the previous part. Okay? Now, and we will run into that kind of stuff. All right, prerequisites. has a minimum, and then it's all this high school blah, 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 blah. Or, yeah, here it is. Should successfully pass with a C or higher intermediate college algebra, which here is Math 100. So is everybody in the right place, right time? Good deal. Okay. Or your placement test. Okay. Co-requisites, none. The textbook. Okay. Here it is. Pre-calculus, 10th edition. Author is Ron Larson. Now let me say this. About the best author I've run into. Math author I've ever taught from. I mean, the math is the same. There's not much difference in that. But what he provides in this text is really incredible. Okay, I've never seen another author provide what he does. And let me go on and talk about it now. Okay? Have any of you gotten the text yet? Probably not. You do. Okay. All right. If you look at the back cover, Internet resources at larsonprecalculus.com. Here is a website. You don't need a code for it. You don't need any special deal. You don't even have to be in the course to go there. Anyone could go there. Your grandmother could go to larsonprecalculus.com and read to her heart's content. It's an open website, free. No code required. And what they have there are videos, worked out solution videos, diagnostic tests, editable spreadsheet. That doesn't mean you eat them, it means you can edit them. Okay, never mind. Okay, and projects, okay, for each chapter, okay. Then they also have he has a thing called calcchat.com. This is also written somewhere on the front. I thought, yeah, calcchat.com. This is another absolutely free website, okay. What it does, it has worked out solutions for every odd number exercise in the entire book. Amazing. And guess what? I'm going to be assigning you the odd number exercises. So we'll talk about that later. Okay? And then countview.com. These are video solutions of selected exercises. Not all of them, selected odd number exercises that do step by step. Not just showing you how to work it, step by step. Some of them are even interactive, and some of these are interactive. Amazing what he has provided here, absolutely free. No codes, nothing. Anyone can go there. That's why I say he's about the best math author I've ever taught from. Okay? Now, it's a Brooks Cole Cengage Publishing. I don't really care for Cengage. Okay? But they have offered a really good deal to the colleges now, and a lot of people are taking advantage of them, and we do. And now the rest of what you're going to see here, I think, okay, let me say this. It's 2018, which means it only has a couple years life left in it before they come out with the 11th edition. Why is that? Is that pre-calculus changing that fast? No. The publisher only makes money when he sells new books. And if he lets them stay out there too long and too many people buy them, then there gets to be a huge used book population out there, and they're not buying new books anymore. So they make the authors come up with minor little changes, changing color, maybe adding a little thing here and there, and make them do a new edition, and then they take the old ones off, so you can't use them anymore. So that's my cynical view of it, but I'm afraid I may be true. Okay? So, still has a year or two probably, but that's about all. Okay. Paper, we're going to be doing math every day, so bring paper. Graph paper you'll need occasionally, not very often, but occasionally. Okay? If I give you a quiz or test and you need the graph, I'll give you the option of, I'll bring some graph paper. But if you have some you like better than the old mess the stuff I have, then you're welcome to use your own. And pencils. Now, you can use pen. I don't say you have to use a pencil, but I'll make a confession to you right now. When I do math, and you'll see this soon enough, I tend to make errors. So I like to be able to erase so I don't have blobs all over the page. Okay. So anyway, but you can use whatever you want to. Now, the rest of this is a paid political advertising. No, it's an ad for Cengage, and I don't care for it. You can read it to your heart's content when I get it out there. But basically, let me say this. If you have one course or 5 courses that all use Cengage books for one fee of $119.99, which is basically $120, you can have access to all the books. One price, any of the books. Okay? So, it is a pretty good deal because this book alone will cost way more than $199. Okay? Used probably still more than $119. Okay? So, it is a pretty good deal for you. But you never own the book. Okay? You get the ebook for that price, and then for something like $10 more or something, $8, something like that more, you can get a paper copy of it. Is that what you did? You bought it. Okay. Not a bad idea. Okay. Now, you can, but that paper copy they give you is just a rental. You have to return it at the end of the term. Okay. Now, the same book we'll be using, if any of you are going to stay around for Math 113 Pre-Calculus Trig, we'll be using the same book. And you'll see coming up later, there is a 2-semester deal that they have, and that way you could keep the book for the next semester. Okay. All right. And if any of you are planning to fail and come back and get and use it next term, you might. No, I'm just kidding. Never mind. Okay. So I'm not going to go through all their paid political advertisements here. You can read it. Here are all the courses at Lawson that do offer Cengage books, use Cengage books. Here's that 1 semester, 1 year, or 2-year rate that you could have. And all the information's here. And it will be out there on Blackboard as soon as I get it done. Okay? Now, let me stop right here. I'm going to pick up with this. Have most of you had Math 100 here? You have. Okay. Did you use my WebAssign? Did you like WebAssign? You did? Okay. All right. Okay. I don't use WebAssign. I don't assign WebAssign. But if you have found you like it, I will do everything I can to get the codes and everything you need so you can access it. I have Cengage put out there just a standard thing, and you can use it to your heart's content. But in my mind, with all the stuff he's got in here, who needs WebAssign? I don't make any assignments on it, but if you like it, and it does have good tutorials, that kind of stuff, so if you like it, I will start the process to try to get that. I think you have something like a 2-week or 3-week free period before you have to sign into the stuff, and I'll try to get it. It just depends on how long it's going to take Cengage to get me the code. Okay, because I didn't do it ahead of time because I don't use it. Now, with that said, let's see. Seems like there's something else. If I think of it, I'll come back. All right, I'll try to do that then. All right, this paragraph on Blackboard, they don't let us change. They don't let us change much of this except our information, but they don't let us touch this one. I do not like this paragraph. All courses must use Blackboard. Well, guess what? I didn't know courses use Blackboard. I thought students use Blackboard, so that's one thing I don't like. Must use Blackboard to gain access. Now, how many courses gain access to vital course information? No, that's students gaining access to vital course information, such as the syllabus. Now, it's not there yet, but it will be. Handouts. Now, we'll put the research paper instructions out there, so that will be there. But most of the rest of the time, if I have a handout, I will hand it out to you, okay? So I usually don't put them on Blackboard, okay? PowerPoint shows. Yes, they will be there. I don't have them there yet, but they will be. Every one we will possibly use in this course, and probably some we won't get to, but I'll put them out there, okay? But not only that, they'll be in static form. They're down here in that second group under handouts, PowerPoints, and more. They'll be there in static form. But then they'll also be there in the YouTube videos because I teach from the PowerPoints. And then you don't just see them, you hear me talk about them, you see me right on the screen because you see this computer is a tablet computer and it has an ionizing pen and I can write on the screen working out the exercise or the examples as you tell me what to do because you're going to be working them out. Okay? Now, so actually, the PowerPoint shows will be there two ways, static and a little more dynamic through the YouTube videos. And they're also accessible through that same website. Okay, same key there. Link, okay. Activities, okay. Sometimes the school will post activities. I'm not going to be posting many. Assignments, like I said, the research paper assignment will be there, but the others will be there, but through the YouTube videos. Because when I get to the end of every section, I will tell you what exercises to do in that section. When I get to the end of the class, I'll tell you which exercises we've covered so far, and those are the ones to do. So you can get your assignments there, but I'm not typing them out and writing them every day. A lot of teachers do. Those are good teachers, but okay, never mind. Okay, but I won't be. You'll have to go to the YouTube video to get those assignments. Announcements. I can't think of many times I'll be making an announcement in here. I will tell you one thing, and I'll tell you as soon as I know exactly when. I have a mild form of leukemia, so I have to see my hematologist about once every, I can't think now what we're on, maybe 4 to 5 months, something like that. He only sees patients, guess what, Tuesday mornings. I can't schedule any other time but Tuesday morning. And sometime later this term, I'll have a Tuesday morning appointment. So I will tell you in class. I probably won't put it on the announcement page because I will have told you probably the previous several times. So, but if they change or something like this, then I'll have to make the announcement. Say, hey, they changed my appointment for this, yeah. So that would be about the only time I can think of. Something else could occur, but I can't think of any reason I'm going to be putting any announcements. Now, I do not like the next sentence. It may be true in some courses, but not in this one. Failure to use Blackboard will severely damage your ability to pass the course. Now, certainly if you're using an online course, I believe that's probably true. Okay, without Blackboard, you have no link to the course. Okay, but in this course, no. Blackboard is a tool. It's not the driver. I'm the driver. Okay, so if I were rewriting this, which they don't let me, I would say the proper use of Blackboard may enhance your ability to do well in the course. That even is a stretch, but at least it's a lot more positive and closer to the truth. Now, I don't like the last sentence. Students should always check the Blackboard announcements and task pages prior to coming to class. Why would they put that sentence in there anyway? The only reason I can think of, and maybe if you can come up with another one, it's comma in case the instructor has canceled class, right? Why else would you have to check it before you come to class? And none of you have been in my classes before, have you? Okay, you lucky. No, oh, you have. No, he has. Okay, right. Yeah, both of you have. Okay, how many classes did I cancel? None. Okay, I hope to keep that streak going. I'm going to try my best to be here every day. Now, when I can't be here, I'm going to let you know well in advance, if I know that. If something comes up, and I could get sick or something else, then it's going to have to be pretty sick for me not to do it. And if I'm that sick, I'm not sure I'm going to tell my wife, could you bring me my computer so I can put it on Blackboard? I'm going to be too sick to do that, okay? So, and she wouldn't do it anyway, so never mind. That's beside the point. Okay, so I don't like that sentence either, but that's beside the point. Okay, let's go on to professional competencies and objectives, okay? And this may actually just missed it. Okay, actually we have it, but I think I can get them all on the page at the same time. Here we go. The course student learning outcomes. Think back now to the course description. Students will identify, analyze, graph, transform, and combine functions. Remember, this is the algebra of functions. So that's the focus that we have. And determine inverse functions if they exist. That's all chapter 2. That is one heavy chapter. Okay, that's where we start. And I'm sorry, it's chapter 1 in the old book. It's chapter 2. Okay, chapter 1 will be identifying, analyzing, transforming, and combining functions and inverse functions. Now, since it's got 6 sections, but they're all pretty heavy. So midway through, about after 1.1 through 1.3, I will give you a take-home quiz. Okay, that will cover just those 3 sections. One page, about 10 questions, maybe a few more, but something like that. Maybe multiple answers, not just 10 answers, but maybe multiple parts to some questions. As a take-home quiz, try to get it back in a week. Now, why a week? Well, 2 reasons. One, always gives you 1 day to come back and ask questions. Like, I don't understand what you're asking here. What do you mean by this? Are you sure this is typed right? Those kinds of questions, okay? Here's a question you can ask, but I will not answer to your satisfaction. Can you do number 7? I will answer it truthfully. Yes, but I'm not going to, okay? Because it's a quiz, okay? You're to answer number 7, okay? But I will answer anything that you get from the book. Find something in the book that's similar to number 7. I'll work that to your heart's content, okay? So, I will answer questions like that. I will not do any of the quiz questions, but find something like it in the book, so that gives you 1 day to ask those kinds of questions. The second reason I give you a week, there's always a weekend in between. Because a few of you may work or have really busy lives, and maybe the weekend is the only concentrated time you can get a little bit of quiet time alone to work on a quiz. So you always have a weekend to work on it. All right. Number 2, students will divide and find the zeros of polynomial functions. Remember? That was the second thing I said to note there. Polynomial functions work with complex numbers. We're not going to do too much with complex numbers because that didn't show up in the course description. I'll explain what they are and show you, but you're not going to be responsible for them. Okay? That's the first part of chapter 2. Okay? Quadratic and polynomial functions, synthetic division, complex numbers just a little bit, zeros of polynomial functions, stop there. Students will find domains and asymptotes, you may not know what they are now, but you will, of rational functions. Remember, that was the next thing I said pay attention to, and analyze the graphs. That's the last part of chapter 2. So these 2 student learning outcomes are in chapter 2. And again, midway through the chapter, after 2.3, with the 6 sections in that too, after 2.3, I'll give you a take-home quiz. Oh, I didn't say this. At the end of the chapter, when we've covered everything in it, then the next class period you'll have a test. Now that will cover all 6 sections in both of these chapters, the first 3 that you've already been quizzed on. So the first page of the test is not too far from being similar questions, not the same questions, to what you were covered in the quiz. The second page will usually be the stuff in the last 3 sections that we've covered since the quiz. That's not always the case, pretty close to it. Okay? Chapter 3, exponential and logarithmic functions. Remember? Oh, I'm sorry, I should have said it up here. Students will graph, number 4 here is students will graph and use the graphs of exponential and logarithmic functions, use the properties of logarithm, and solve exponential and logarithmic equations. That's chapter 3. Exponential and logarithmic functions and their graphs, properties of logarithms, exponential and logarithmic equations, and again, possibly a quiz and a test. Quite often, this is going to take a huge amount of time. This will take a fair amount of time. Sometimes we run out of term before we run out of chapter 3. Usually we'll get into it, but maybe not everything. And the reason I allow that to happen is if you don't get this stuff down, this makes no sense at all. So I want to make sure you have the foundations in place and that you understand what we're doing here. Then, even if we don't get to this, you can pick it up. Okay? It's easier for you to do. If you don't get it here, if we rush through this just so we get to cover everything, you'll wind up not knowing enough about any of it to really do you any good in the next course. So that's my teaching philosophy. May not be good, but that's what I go by. Then, here, students will solve systems of equations and inequalities. Sometimes we've gotten there, sometimes we haven't. That's chapter 7. What happened to 4, 5, and 6? That's the trig chapters. That's Math 113. So that's why it jumped to chapter 7 here. If we get there, fantastic. If we don't, I don't sweat very much. I sweat a lot, but it's not for that. Okay. There is a research paper, and we'll do that, and that will assess your research and writing paper. And it's a really easy thing. It's not a major thing. Your overall student learning outcomes will be assessed by a comprehensive final exam, meaning it's covering everything we did in the course, okay, so it's not droppable. So don't come to me, I have an A on my test, can I drop the final? No, okay? The final is, that's how we assess whether you can put it all together. Okay, we're running pretty short of time. We got 4 minutes. Let's see what we can do. Here's how I assess you. The paper is required. It will count as a quiz grade that cannot be dropped. A quiz grade. And then remember, we have quizzes midway through the chapters. That take-home quiz will be given about midway through each chapter, and I will drop your lowest quiz score, except for the paper. I will not drop the paper quiz, okay? But the others, I will, if it helps your grade. If you do really poorly or don't turn in a research paper, that's a really low score. You might need every quiz score you can to help pull that up, okay? So that's the only reason I put a may here rather than will. The remaining quiz scores and the paper score averaged together will count as a replacement test score. If that quiz average is higher than your lowest test score, chapter test score, then I'll replace the lowest test score with the quiz average. Okay? It should be. If you turn in a decent paper, do well on your quizzes, they take home, you should do well on them, okay? Then that will enable you to have something that may, if you do blow a test score, I will replace that low test score with the quiz average, okay? Tests will be given at the end of each chapter. The lowest test grade may be dropped and replaced by the quiz average. If it helps your score, if it helps your overall grade, I do it. If it doesn't, if that quiz average was really lousy and your tests were better, I keep the test, okay? The comprehensive final exam will be given, cannot be dropped. It will count as either 1 or 2 test scores. Why is that? Well, if you blow the final, I only count it once. If you do better on the final than your average coming in, I count it twice. Whatever helps you, okay? The most, okay? So the average of the quiz, the remaining hourly test, and the comprehensive final exam will determine the final grade for the course. And then, of course, we do 90s or A's, 80s or B's, and 70s or C's. Don't go down here, okay? 60s or D's, and below 60 is an F. Okay. 2 more minutes, okay? Now, I don't know who wrote the syllabus, but whoever it was, I think I have a pretty good idea who it was. They were not mathematicians, okay? I will tell you what the first sentence was here. It was, the instructor always rounds up. That was the first sentence here. The second sentence was exactly like it reads here. For example, a 79.5 will be rounded up to an 80, which is a B. But a 79.4 would remain a C. Guess what, folks? That's rounding down. If you round to 79.4, you're not rounding up to make it go down. Okay. So this is called rounding normally. So rather than changing everything, I just changed this. The instructor rounds normally. And why did I do that? Because Blackboard rounds normally. That's where you put your grades in, and that's how they do it. Otherwise, we would have to go back and recalculate all the grades. So, well, it wouldn't be that bad. But we round normal. I round normally. Okay? I've already dropped your lowest quiz score. If that helped you, your lowest test score, you don't need any more boosting. Okay? You've already got it boosted. Okay. We're out of time. Let's just let me just say, please try to be here every time. Oh no, we'll talk about this. Remind me next time to start with the syllabus under attendance. Not much to say about attendance, but this thing about withdrawals I do want to go over with you. That is important. Any questions? Now please, okay, I'm going to do this. I hate to do it, but I'm going to do it. On your way out, make sure I've got it.
It's probably fine.
Okay, I got you. you. Figure? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, got it. Johnson? John, yeah, I got you. Jeremiah, yeah, I got you. I got you. James, I got you. Sorry, I got you. Dave, I got you. Huh? Carl, oh yes, whoever you are. Hey, yeah, I got you. Amari? Yeah, I got you. Wait. Did I mark? I was making fun of you. What? Yeah. Oh, there. Snow. I think that's what I'm missing. You see on here? Okay. Are you sure you want to go? Did you add recently? Okay, the rest can go. You found it. Okay. Right. Okay. So the last name is Snow. What's your first name? A-L. Help you go by? Okay, I'll let you read this. Absolutely. I thought you wanted my picture. Oh, I feel so bad. Okay, if you flip it over, you'll get the ISBN or the cover will be that.
Excuse me, I missed class today because I left my keys in my car and locked them in. So what did I miss?
Okay, we talked about what the course. Well, number one, you missed a bunch of stuff not working right and stuff like that. And that took most of the time at the beginning. The projector was stolen, and I had to get the projector from the library and stuff like this. But we did start going over the syllabus, and that's about it. So,
okay. Do you have a printout of the syllabus, or is it just
it's going to be on Blackboard. It's not there yet, but it's going to be in 2 places. It will be under past course information. It's not there yet, but it will be. But they'll also be under a YouTube video. You'll hear me talk about this. That's it. They're not there yet either, but it will be. What's your name?
Yoshi.
Oh, I remember seeing him. What? How do you spell it? There it is, right there. You go by Yoshi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm on my computer, so you did show up. And then Felicia.
You have a nice day.
All right, you too. Thank you. All right. Let me end the recording because